I want to acknowledge the Council of Presidents, my peers. It's humbling to be in your presence because I know you all are great leaders respectively. You all lead organizations that transcend time and impact many lives. And to be affiliated with you is a high honor for me. And it's an honor to serve in this role as chair of the council. And I will always seek to be more of a listening entity than a talking entity, because I think it's very important that your perspectives are heard, and my opinion necessarily is not advanced, but how can we come together? And lastly, before I enter my comments, I want to acknowledge the incoming Vice Chairman, Fraternity. It's good to see individuals who have great ingenuity and ideas. And while we tease each other because of our friendly rivalries with our respective fraternities, there's such a great deal of respect, mutual respect that flows with this council, but particularly with you. As I know that you are a viable, intelligent black man and an intelligent entrepreneur and thinker. Those things mean a lot. And when I saw you elevated to become the president of Nova Scotia and help to lead that organization out of its really tumultuous times, I said, I want to do everything I can do to help you while you do that. But I'll tell you that I'm very pleased to have you by my side as a vice council chair, and know that the work that you will carry on together in concert will be beneficial to all whom we serve. So thank you for that. I want to talk very briefly, and I mean that extremely sincerely, about some things that I'd like to be sure we bring to focus while I serve as chair. One of the key components for us as a loose confederation of organizations that are aligned around general principles is for us to learn ways of working. For most of you who have a corporate background, you're familiar with those terms. And I want to commit to our efforts to maximize our alignment as 9 independent organizations, but certainly with a calling that joins us all together. We need to maximize our synergies on behalf of our constituencies that we serve, and recognizing, as has been appropriately placed, that we represent some 2.5 to 2.7 million individuals within our 9 organizations, but our extension is really 7 million plus when we talk about the spheres of influence that we have. We are second only to the black church, and I think we have been underutilizing our mechanism for some time, but we've been working in the last few years, and I'm not talking just the council that I've served on, but those are our predecessors, to really bring our alignment into focus. And in this next 100 years, as I've shared with the fraternities when we were on the Hill together the first time, that we take our energies off of those things that are petty and turn them towards things that mean that we will lift up not only our race, but our nation as well. And that's a call now for us to start and be the catalyst for an inter-organizational alliance among all African American and American institutions that we touch. We have to realize that unless we bring people to the table with us, our effect is minimized. So this is an opportunity for us to reach out and bring the links to the table, to bring the Black Women Alliance to the table. We've already begun, and I began talking to even for those of us who are called Freemasons. I've already talked to the Sovereign Grand Commander of the Northern Jurisdiction of the ancient and accepted Scottish Rite Freemasons in the Northern Jurisdiction, Prince Hall affiliate, and the Sovereign Grand Commander Bazemore, who is a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity, has agreed to align with us on initiatives that will move our community forward. And as the council chair, I'm looking for us to begin to be that catalyst to bring those organizations to bear because of the very things that are standing before us right now. Our citizenship and equality and equity in this country, even after 63 years of protest, which started at the March on Washington and those great words that were echoed by my fraternity brother, and our brother, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., still have not gained the traction that it should. And we have to understand that voter empowerment and voter education must be one of our major focus points and our action items as we move forward. Our ability to get black people to the polls to vote is critical, not just in a general presidential election, but in every election, at every level.
Yeah.
And we have got to stop just putting a face painting on it, but bring everyone with us. The efforts that many of our organizations respectively have done have been noble, but now it's time for us to move the needle and really be inclusive and bring everyone to the table so we can make a difference. If you think this 2023 election is just as important as our general presidential election in 24, we have a black man, two black men running for governor. One is a Republican, one is a Democrat that served both in Republican and Democratic entities. One is a member of Phi Beta Sigma, and one is a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity. Independent of what your particular political interests are, we as American citizens must exercise our God-given right to vote.
Yes.
And if we do not do it, then we've squandered what God has given us. Now, I'll say to you this place as well. When we were at Martha's Vineyard, very recently, the Council of Presidents, one thing I took away and I embedded in my heart, and now I petition to my respective leaders, that we must now start to have a deeper reach and frequency with our state legislatures in our respective states where we are. Not just a legislative day in the nation's capital, not just one legislative day in a particular state, but multiple contacts is going to be critical for us to do this. We must ensure that our ability to impact our communities is not leveraged against us. We must do what we must do. We must do the uplift. And finally, I want to commend the Council of Presidents, and I want to commend the sororities and our support of the sororities in lifting up black women. I think we need to continue to do that. But now I call on us to do the final push, and that's for us to uplift black men. We must realize, and it took, if you've not heard the excerpt from the 1968 Howard University commencement speech that was given by, at that time, President Lyndon Baines Johnson. He made mention that the attack on the black family through racism had been devastating. And particularly, it had been waged against black men. And black men's inability to lift up their family, to provide impact for their family, it had lowered their social status. And as a result, even of policies, not encouraged the black family to stand united. It was definitely been confirmed through research that it has been devastating on our communities, and now has even spread beyond our race to really the broader American community. We must, as black men, and I call on the black fraternities that are here, as we've been doing for the last couple of years with our days on the Capitol, that we take that another step forward and lift up black men, encourage them to be leaders in their community, and to stand shoulder to shoulder with our sisters who have been holding up the promise of America and America's dream. Not afraid to get out there and encourage individuals to vote, and they vote in every election. Now, we've got to make sure we get people out in the community who are black men, who do not vote, to be active, to be present. And I think as a collective together, we can do that. So you have my commitment of leadership to stand here, not only to be a listener, but to be a catalyst for positive change as we lift up our communities together. Thank you very much.